is Cinderella Stories with Ash and Sav. We are so freaking back, okay?
Girl.
Like, we're back in studio. We're with each other, finally.
Yes. It's been 2 months.
No, like, for real,
It's been 2 months since the whole gang is back here, and I was so excited for
Not you counting the days.
4 of us to be together, and then obviously one of our youths got held up.
wah,
So
wah.
anyway, yeah, I wasn't counting the days. I was counting my freedom.
Sure.
I was like, you know what?
Sure.
What's been different about
Yeah.
my life? I feel lighter, fresh.
the sky is brighter.
The food are hotter.
Yeah.
Pizza's better.
Food's tasting better. Miss you too. In other words,
No.
this is her long way of saying I miss you. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Couldn't
okay.
have come at a better time though, honestly. To be back, it couldn't have come at a better time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because like even the name of our whole like podcast, Cinderella Stories, and it's the most wonderful time of the year right
It's
now.
like actually coming up on a year for people who have been with us since the beginning. We did like our trial podcast, Cinderella Stories. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, we're thinking about doing this women's sports thing. Let's do it over Women's March Madness and see where it takes us.
Yeah.
So we did like a 4-week, 5-week special.
Yes.
And then it ended up curtailing into like
a whole
weekly
thing.
So yeah, it's like almost our 1-year anniversary.
Oh my
I'd
God.
say. Happy
We
anniversary.
don't have like a cheers, but I don't have anything.
We can move on.
All right. Well, yeah, no, happy anniversary.
Yeah,
This is actually
thanks.
crazy. This is the longest relationship I've been in a very long time. Like, literally,
Honored, sad, but honored.
But honored.
Hate that for you. Love it for us.
I'm picky.
Yeah. No, for
I'm
sure.
picky. All right. Well, it's true. So, okay. So I can't wait to get into it. So
Yeah, let's do
we
it.
got March Madness, WNBA. It's officially finally happening,
Yes.
bro.
Never a doubt. There's never
There's never a doubt.
Never a doubt.
Never doubted
Never. Not for a second.
it. Not for a minute.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're back.
so
we are so back, babe.
We get to talk about that again. We get to get into maybe a little bit of footy.
Yeah.
A little footy. That'd be sick. But yeah, like let's get into it. So for those who were listening to us last year, we played this game called Smash or Pass,
Yeah.
bracket style.
Mhm.
So let's run it back. And you had the caveat that you want to throw into it. Let's go against the odds.
Well, the odds are going to help us inform where people are actually at. I
Okay.
think that like I'm not necessarily huge into sports betting anymore. I used to be like my bread and butter in terms of work, but I think it's like a nice place to be like, okay, what are the streets saying?
Yeah.
What are the bookmakers saying? And oftentimes they have a pretty good temperature on the situation because the house never loses.
Facts.
And if they do, it's very rare and they make it up in other situations. So it's a nice place to be like, oh, I'm not really sure who I'm going to pick in this pool, or I'm not sure who I'm going to pick in this like bracket that I have. Well, if I look at the odds, it's a good place to start.
Yeah, I agree. No, I 100% agree. So like, I think for anybody that's getting into sports, like I don't know who to pick or who to choose, like just look at the odds and go from there. So with that said, the current odds, we have UConn is the favorite to win. Is anybody surprised?
No. So they're the defending champions.
Yeah.
They lost Paige Beckers, but they still have a litany of
Crazy amount of talent.
assailants
Yeah.
that can do damage at any point in time. Azzi Fudd, of course, expected to be the #1 overall pick. Sarah Strong is a favorite as well.
Absolutely.
They're coached by Gino Auriemma, who's just an icon, and he's just been doing it for years and years and years. I like to call him Mr. Carl Fredrickson, the
Why?
old man from Up.
Oh my gosh.
So Carl, if you will. But
Shout
yeah,
out
like
Carl.
I think, so when we think of top 4,
Yeah.
it's UConn,
Mhm.
UCLA, Texas, and then
South Carolina.
South Carolina, come on and raise up. Like you cannot have this conversation without Staley.
yeah,
Like
what?
they've won 2 national championships in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about who you think is your heads over heels,
Heads over heels?
heads over tails.
Heels over
Huber-
heads?
Who's your winner? I'm like, wait, what is it? I'm finding it.
We're getting there.
Are we?
I don't know what I actually don't know what
you know when
reference
it's
you're going with.
like heads above the rest?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Heads and shoulders above the rest.
Heads and shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears,
Yeah, eyes, ears.
mouth, and nose. Okay, so
Okay.
who you got? All that to say.
All that to say, I think, okay, so it's really hard to bet against UConn. They're just so well coached for all the reasons you listed. However, that said, I don't know, but I feel like I'm smelling an upset this year.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know. It's in the air. I'm getting the energy from the universe that it could be a UConn year, and it's expected to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if it could be a South Carolina year.
Oh, I was going to say, what does it smell like? Does it smell like the ocean?
Yeah.
Does it smell like barbecue?
Yeah,
does it smell like
it's
Petey Pablo?
It's that Applewood barbecue right now.
Texas.
It's that South Carolina.
Do they have South Carolina
I
barbecue?
swear they
I was
do.
thinking Texas barbecue.
No, every state has barbecue.
Yeah, like that's
like Memphis barbecue. Like
that's true.
everybody has barbecue.
Okay, so you think South Carolina?
Yes,
talk to me.
because
Louis Vuitton's on.
Yeah, because you know why? I remember watching them last year in the tournament and thinking like they're really close, but they're just missing. They're almost too reactive instead of being proactive.
Mm-hmm.
They're great defensively, but on the offensive side, I felt like they were
a little one-dimensional.
Yeah, one-dimensional, and then once again, like they're just a little bit too reactive, not proactive, and not like attacking. And they just were not polished. Put it that way, they weren't as polished.
Okay.
I'm seeing South Carolina come in this year, and even based on their first game and then how their season went, you're seeing like a name that's standing out to me is Joyce Edwards.
Yep.
6'3", forward. She was there last year. She's a sophomore, so she was a rookie last year. So now she has some experience under her belt. And I'm like, this girl's dominating the field. Like I'm watching her play. What stands out to me the most, she got creative.
Mm-hmm.
I saw her like grab a rebound, do a spin, like off of a free throw, back up because it was like a missed free throw. I was like, what did I just watch? Like this was actually like, I was a brilliant, intuitive, very fast, on your feet move. And so I was like, okay, she's been the heartbeat of their team. On top of that, they also have Tessa Johnson. Tessa Johnson is kind of like the engine of their team, the guard that has been kind of leading the ship, steering the ship, I should say.
Yeah.
And I've kind of picked up on like on her tempo. She really does set the pace of the entire team.
Okay.
So that's why I'm getting, and on top of that, they're coached by Staley. And I was going to pull this up because I was looking up their roster heights because I was just curious, like, why do everybody look bigger than me? Like everybody and I'm like, for those who don't know, I'm like about 6 foot right now. Like
definitely with that bun.
With the bun?
6'1".
6'3", actually.
Big dog.
And Joyce herself, she is 6'3".
Yeah. And
I was like, okay, so she's tall. She is not even their tallest. Not even close.
Yeah.
They have like several players 6'5" and above. Like I think their biggest players like 6'7", and then no.
I put it back.
Yeah,
I put it back. But you know what though? As a sidebar, I will say I'm happy that the youth are going 6'7", because like when we were young, we were like 6'9", which is like obviously straight to hell in a handbasket. Satan's calling.
Yeah.
So listen, let's just be thankful that it's more wholesome. It's annoying as shit,
true.
but it's wholesome.
Continue.
Continue.
But yeah, so that's my take. Basically, their roster is huge. These women are like have such a big size advantage.
Right.
They're defensively tough because you know a Staley team is always going to be defensively super tough, and they're long. And this time, like I saw them, like they're just stomping. So I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Because how do you compete with size and like pace and like a team that now has more experience? So that's my take. I'm smashing South Carolina.
Smash. Okay, so yeah, Joyce Edwards, to your point, like she progressed so much in her offensive offering. She went from 12 points to 20 points. Yeah. They went to the transfer portal, for Tanaya Latson from Florida State. She led the nation in scoring. So I think they did address that aspect of their game. But what I will say is, like, let's not forget that they got kicked by UConn last year.
Yeah.
And UConn was a team of destiny. So I think that there is a little bit of a caveat there. It's just like Paige Beckers was not going to be denied. Yeah, that team was not going to lose, but they lost 82-59. Like it wasn't close. Yeah. And then I will just say, for context, they've also lost to Texas twice this year. South Carolina. Yeah. So they lost in the SEC finals, and then they lost earlier in the season as well. So it's like, I hear what you're saying. I'm just not sure if you're like, hey, this team is going to beat UConn. They can't even beat Texas. Luckily for them, they're on the other side of the bracket than Texas, because sometimes it ends up being matchup dependent, not necessarily skill dependent. So it's just a bad matchup is a bad matchup. But Texas is a team that's interesting because they lost by 20 to South Carolina last year. And so they kind of regrouped, and now they're back in the Final Four. It's the same 4 teams as last year, right? So we're just playing this by ear, and we're saying who retooled and who has a better game plan now to try and take down UConn. So I think that With Texas, somebody like Madison Booker, she is going to be a facet for them. When they played South Carolina in the SEC tournament, they came out and they went up 14-0 at the beginning of the game. And South Carolina just couldn't get their wits about them after that. The SEC as a whole, I think, is built different.
Totally.
I will say that. The Ole Miss coach, Coach Yo, called it the baby WNBA because she just said, listen, we are tough.
Yeah.
We are built different. And not to say that the girls can't go from NCAA D1 to the WNBA and be successful, but there's a learning curve. We heard every athlete talk about it when Caitlin Clark was coming into the league. You have to get bigger. You have to get stronger. And there is room for that. But Texas is a team that I think might be able to do a little something, but they would face UConn in the Final Four. I believe they're on the bottom left of the table. So they would have to go UConn Final Four, which would be an upset. UConn not even in the finals. And then it would be UCLA and South Carolina on the other side of the bracket. So for me, I'm going to smash Texas.
Okay.
But I'm also going to just like triple smash UConn. I just think that it's theirs to lose.
Oh, 100%.
If they were to go back to back, it'd be the first time that they did it since 2013 to 2016, that national title run. It would be their 13th national title. You know, All-American, Sarah Strong, Azzi Fudd, I mentioned it before, just the system that's in place, just this, all the accompanying characters. This is a team that has won 50 games in a row since the finals last year. Like, they do not lose. The one team that people are calling out as like a bit of a dark horse though is Vanderbilt. And the thing is that UConn can be a little bit susceptible from distance defensively. So our girl Silas Swords went 8 for 14 against them from 3 earlier this season in November. Michigan did lose, but it was a near comeback and she lit it up. And so when you look at Vandy, who I think they would play in the Elite 8, I want to say Elite 8 or Elite 8. Sweet 16?
Sweet 16 is the round that we're currently,
I think they would go to the Elite 8.
I think it's Elite 8.
Yeah.
I think.
Anyway, so if UConn were to match up against Vandy is 24th ranked nationally in 3-point attempts, 9 in 3-point makes, and they shoot at a 36% clip. So again, if you're going to play UConn and you're going to win, you have to have a perfect game.
Yeah.
You have to have a near perfect game.
Yeah.
Everyone has to be on. They have to make mistakes. You have to dictate pace and tempo. And good luck to you, but
I want to add something.
Wait, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
Vandy's coach used to be Gino's assistant for over 10 years. So if there's anyone who knows the inside workings of it, it's going to be Shea Ralph, who was literally in the inner circle.
I know exactly what he's going to be
since 2008.
They're probably running his own plays.
Honestly,
like, is this play about me?
Innovation. It's called innovation.
Innovation. Just there's a book that says like steal like an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's
exactly what they're doing.
That's Shea.
And that's why they're even like noted as a potential dark horse. Like that's why they're in the conversation, because when was the last time Vanderbilt was really even mentioned like that?
Never.
Not. It's been
on
a
the men's
minute.
side, not on the women's.
No. Yeah, exactly.
I do it. Okay.
But I was gonna say, to add to the UConn point that you made, because you made a lot of great points there. I was thinking something that stands out to me is even like the first game that they played like in the March Madness, or even like just like this whole tournament, basically, they're going deep. They're going really deep into their roster. I was just counting like, wait a minute, they went 12 deep.
Yeah. Well, they're scoring 100 points and they're winning by 40.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well.
I know. Yeah. But like, and like people are not getting like sure, like a couple of girls got like 5 minutes or whatever. But for the most part, everyone's getting respectable minutes. 24, 22, 18, 29, 21, 17, 17, 28.
Yep.
So it's like, this is why like we talk about like, the big names, Sarah Strong, Azzi Fudd, they're out there. But then you have other people like Ashlyn Shade. She's like also like contributing her own piece of the pie. Like, and she's 50% from the field. Like, it's actually pretty incredible to see what UConn is doing. I know we could talk UConn easily. They're like,
but you have to. And that's one thing that I think is overlooked, to your point, in college basketball in general, is like sometimes the have and the have nots, the talent discrepancy from someone that's on the bench that's coming in as a backup versus your starter is night and day.
Yeah.
And so it's the smart and pragmatic thing to do to get all your players in various situations, in high level situations, and be able to say, okay, if something were to happen, knock on wood, to one of our stars, who's coming in and forget what they're capable of. What is their confidence level like? Because that's ultimately what it comes down to in a lot of cases. Can you be put in a situation and you're like, I'm ready for this moment? Exactly. Instead of things getting a little testy. And I mean, like, we're not even talking about LSU at this point.
I know, bruh.
No, first of all, First of all,
our girl.
I know, Kim, I know. But everyone, listen, I need to throw a little shade Kim's way because everyone wants to talk about, oh, she's so funny. Oh, she's so charismatic.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so real. And I've said those things about her and they can be true. But the fact still remains, and I think it's worth pointing out almost every single year. I read Brittany Griner's autobiography when I was doing a series for Complex Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that Kim Mulkey treated her while she was winning her national championship and going in an undefeated season, and the way that Kim Mulkey didn't speak out at all when Brittany Griner was getting held in Russia, didn't even send well wishes or nothing. Girl, I am so sorry. Like, you come out sometimes of this tunnel. Remember when she was holding hands with that male coach? And it's like, I know. You're coming out here like Erica Kirk and in a bedazzled suit.
Erica Kirk.
And in a bedazzled suit like your husband just died and there's pyrotechnics for what? But you can't stand 10 toes down for your players.
Yes.
That are the ones, quite frankly, that are going to be responsible for your good reputation. Mm-hmm. Really and truly, it comes down to winning. The coaches that we talk about win.
Yeah. No, all of them are winners.
The coaches that we talk about win, and the players get you there.
And they're obsessed with winning too.
So that's the only thing I'll say is like a little bit of shade towards Kim Mulkey every Women's March Madness.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
But the thing is that you could always find something she's doing every single time. Like, there's something always.
Last year was, what was last year?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, it was like her players and that article that was written about how she's just like an awful person and she creates a terrible environment. Yeah. And then she like read the reporter for filth at the podium instead of having any ounce of accountability.
Right.
So yeah, it's Kim Mulkey's world and they're just living in it. Yeah. But when she was at Baylor, she did not stand on business. And I think that always deserves a call out, particularly when there's been no reflection and apologies or growth.
I mean, and we could talk about that like literally like, I think you said it exactly how you needed to say it because like, okay, I have a question. Sidebar. My intrusive thoughts are winning right now. If you had to choose a coach, okay, Gina Auriemma, Kim Mulkey, Dawn Staley, who would you play for?
Not Kim.
Kim's on the table, so now not Dawn Staley or Gina.
Oh God.
And I just know they're both crazy in their own ways behind the scenes. So choose your crazy.
Honestly, I think Dawn, because she'd be giving people designer gifts. And she's having the team over at her mansion for pool parties and summer parties. So all things created equal, I'm going to go with the perks. I'm going to go with the bonuses.
Both Dawn.
I think that, I think that Gino challenges his girls in a different way. I think he's very sarcastic. I think he says it how it is. Yeah. I think Dawn would challenge me in a way where it's like, oh, you don't think I can do that? I'm going to prove you wrong. Yeah. Like, I am at my best when I get pissed off and when I'm like, oh. Yeah. Okay.
No, I feel like Dawn would be also a great woman coach. I know, a female coach. I would just love to have like.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. I had I had two women coaches throughout my sports career and it was impactful. Yeah. And I know we're going to get to that in a little bit, but yeah. Let's put a pin in that. But
pin.
Anyway, LSU plus 1,700. Haha, Kim.
Yeah, Vanderbilt plus 5,000. I was gonna say now Michigan is very much a dark horse with plus 9,000.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
Yeah, and by the way, for our listeners that are not as familiar with like the sports betting world or what this plus stuff means, it just means like the higher the number, the less they are expected to win, basically. Like,
yeah, the higher the plus.
Yeah. And so, anyways, to your point, I do have Michigan, not necessarily like winning it all, but definitely shaking some trees. Because I actually watched their game against NC State and I was shocked because at the halftime, the score was so low. The score was like, I believe it was under 30 points at the half.
That's tough.
And Sila was the lead scorer for the game with 9 points. Mm-hmm. I end up having to come back down to Toronto. And so I stopped watching about halfway through the third quarter. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking, okay, this game's neck and neck. I'll keep up the score. I literally, when I'm done driving, getting back down to Toronto, I check the score. Bro, Michigan beat like NC State. Like
belt to ass.
I was like, what happened? Yeah. Because it was a low scoring game. And the score ended up being, what was it? Let me pull it up. It was like 60 to 90 something. Like it was
92 to 63.
Yeah. 92 to 63. And I was like, who went off? And of course, Silas Swords went off. She hit like 4 for 10. And then on top of that, Olivia Olsen went off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, because I thought it was a really good, strong defensive game overall. And those were always the ones that people call boring. But I was shocked at the output of the barrage of shooting, basically, that Michigan came out with.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if they can bring that from the jump, and maybe a little bit is experience, or just like, I don't know.
Nerves, feeling each other out.
Exactly.
You never know.
NC State, that's a bigger game than the previous ones they've been playing. Like, that's a respectable team.
NC State's going to want that one back. They didn't
100%.
score more than 20 points in any given quarter, and then they gave up 32 in the third and the fourth to Michigan. So, whoopsie.
Yeah.
Go Wolves. Go Wolverines.
Go Wolves.
Go Wolverines.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So that's my dark horse.
Okay.
Like I say, you have Vanderbilt?
No.
No?
No, I don't. But I'm
As
just
your
saying.
dark?
Well, I mean, to me, there is no dark horse because it's like they're so far back of UConn. Like UConn's running the race.
It's just more like who's going to like shake it up a little bit.
UConn is like an Ethiopian like marathon runner. Like they're gonna win. Like they're gonna win. Like let's be so for real. They've been running the game. Okay.
Like I said, I have a weird sense in the atmosphere of this universe that something's gonna happen.
That's your slick back being too tight. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
Juju. I'm like, justice for Juju.
Maybe
okay,
if
I miss you.
If Juju comes back on the court and makes a triumphant return, sure. I don't think she's on a roster. But yeah, I'm just saying that's where UConn might be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Is defending from deep.
Yeah.
I think UCLA is in a ton of trouble because they love to pack it in defensively. So if you are able to light it up from the outside, and if you are good in your 5-on-5 sets, you're going to have a problem if you're UCLA. So again, like Lauren Betts, shout out. We want the best for you. But they also got, again, I mentioned they got killed by UConn last year, 85-51. Like it wasn't close. They added Gianna Neepkins. So she's going to help them from distance. She's 44% from three. But
crazy.
Again, like this team lives and dies by Lauren Betts, and you can't trade 2s and 3s. That's just math.
That's insane.
That's just math.
Speaking of math,
let's go.
Yeah, so the WNBA collective bargaining agreement, they took a while to figure out their math.
Yeah.
They had marathon meetings, and I know this is kind of like, at this point, a little bit old news because this has been going on since, the dawn of time, really.
17 months.
And how long have we been talking about this? Like every freaking episode of Cinderella Stories.
Dude, it's been 17 months of negotiations.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, for the first 12, they were literally not even being paid attention to.
Yeah, I know.
It was pretty much a joke for the first 12 months, I would say. But yeah, here we are. There will be a WNBA season, so hooray, like celebrate is what I'm like.
Yeah. Holiday.
Yeah.
Except get to work.
Yeah.
Except actually get your ass to work. It's
Bro,
like no one wants to work these days.
I'm like, I actually feel so hard for like the front offices of all these franchises, especially the expansion teams like Toronto, Tempo, and Portland, because the amount of stuff that they have to worry about right now that's on their plate.
I mean, I don't really feel that bad. It's been on their plate. They've been waiting.
But it's been like pushed and pushed.
One
thing
got pushed, the expansion draft. I will say it's been probably tough on the social media teams.
The social teams too.
The PR, like what's even the news? What's even the news? Like we're just making stuff up at this point. Look over here. Look over here.
Yeah.
But now they can get down to like the nitty gritty. But I'm just glad, like to your point, we made it to the 30th season of the WNBA. Tip-off happening May 8th, which is going to be like, this is like blessed. This is like a celebration.
It's a celebration button now.
Yeah, like I want to hit. We gotta. The decor budget's limited. But yeah, so we're so back. And again, you said it, the CBA conversations are a little bit stale, but I'd love to hear one thing that stood out for you from what was agreed upon, any changes. What do you think is going to have an impact that might not be the revenue share? Component?
Yeah, outside of revenue share. So I feel like this has actually been one of the least talked about aspects that I've seen in the CBA. And I'm going to go with...
League Pass?
Sorry?
League Pass?
With League Pass. We made it.
The girls got League Pass.
We made it.
The girls got League Pass.
We made it.
We could watch our games full free. God bless.
We actually made it. Okay.
That's what I thought.
No,
okay.
It is actually the fact that teams can now get 2 additional developmental roster spots.
Yeah.
That stood out to me, and it does not count against the salary cap.
Yeah.
So it's basically incentivizes teams to go out and get talent or take risks.
Yeah, high
on
ceiling.
talent. Yeah, that like, so it could be the player in Europe that, you weren't as maybe paying as close attention because you're obviously like, do you ever have a talent pool and et cetera, et cetera. You could take a risk on her. Like you're like, okay, we could develop her. I see potential in her game. She's already played pro because in Europe they play pro since they're like 15 years old.
Right.
Or that means that if you draft somebody, I was also thinking, like, I gotta double check.
And they don't slot in right away.
Exactly. Because like, how many times have we seen like, you know, first round picks or even number 1 picks get like literally not even last 3 years in the WNBA?
Yeah.
And it's like
not as much anymore because I think the players are built a little bit differently, but it's certainly been a notable problem.
I think even though like even in the
like
last
like a late first, a high second, like
second,
where are you going, babe?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Overseas.
maybe like I say pre Caitlin Clark. Let's say that
an angel. Yeah,
an angel. Yeah, so like before that, like
that was only 3 years ago.
Literally,
yeah,
like a lot of first round talent were just getting like waived, or it's like, what do you mean? She was defensive player of the year at this big school. How is she not finding herself a team? So I feel like those 2 roster spots really allow for like just like teams to just really focus on their future development and also grow the women's game.
Yeah.
It also is, we always talk about like the fact that the WNBA, you know, for the longest time, they only had 144 spots. And then the Valkyries came and then extended that a little bit and then extended
Portland
that.
and then Toronto.
Exactly.
And now times 2.
And so now there's just more space.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be so helpful for the game. So I love that.
No, I think that's a really good point because it's something that's going to lead to something even bigger, and that's going to be a W development league. Yeah. Whatever the G League is for the girls, it's on the horizon. It might not be in this CBA, but I would be willing to bet big money that it would be in the next CBA.
Yeah.
Some kind of development situation in the next 6 years. Because the CBA is 7 years. The players can opt out after 6.
Yep.
Which, okay.
Well.
Sure.
All right.
Sure, whatever. But I think they qualified it as both sides feeling like they won, which again, that's a good negotiation. And I know it's hard. It's easy to dig your heels in a negotiation, be like, I want this and that's that. But really and truly, if you're negotiating from a place of good faith, there has to be concessions on both sides, which is what we saw. I think to me, the thing that stands out the most is the minimum player salaries. What?
The bag?
What? Like you went into your office and you asked for a raise and they tripled your salary, they quadrupled your salary. So for reference, Caitlin Clark comes out of the WNBA draft and she's paid $78,000 in her first year. Cameron Brink went on a podcast, or her podcast, I believe, and she was like, I couldn't even afford my private chef. Yes, first world problems, but you're a professional athlete, your private chef is worth more than your salary. I think she said she's paying like $7,000 a month or something like that. Those LA prices will get you. The LA tax will get you.
Yeah.
And now the average salary is going to be around $583,000 per player. Do you know what I'm saying? Like growing to over $1 million by 2032. They will range, entry level minimum salaries will range from $270,000 to $300,000 in 2026. And our first round draft pick was getting paid under $80K.
Oh my
literally just 2 years ago.
Imagine how Diana Taurasi feels.
Diana's fine. I tell you right now, Anka's fine.
Well, just imagine how like any of the players that like have played in the past.
So I'm a petty too, and I'm always like, oh, I wish I was born like 5 years later because I'd be on the Olympic football team, or I wish I was born because then I could capitalize on NIL or whatever the case may be. But I think the appropriate way to look at it, and I think a lot of them do, is that they are trailblazing for the next generation. Like you always want to leave something better than when you found it, and they have absolutely unequivocally been able to do that.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I did stumble upon, so I'm kind of cheating because I'm going with 2, but the postseason awards and bonuses.
Oh,
so players get paid for hitting certain benchmarks. So for example, WNBA champion per player.
Yep.
You used to get around $23,000. Now you get $60,000.
Like what?
Oh,
that's crazy.
We'll just times that by 3, no problem.
Insane.
Like this killed me so much. WNBA All-Star MVP, $5,000 to $20,000.
Bro.
$5,000 to $20,000. And again, like people are like $20,000, who cares? What would you do for $20,000? Because we have Latifa Abdu in the NSL eating crickets
for $20,000.
And I bet she'd do it for $5 if I cut a check right in front of her. Everyone's got a price.
Yeah.
So you play in an all-star game, you get MVP, you get $20,000 instead of $5?
Bro.
$5 maybe pays for the trip for you and your team.
Dude, you could win the sportsmanship award for $10,000.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd be the best sport on the team. Like, I'd be the personality hire.
Everything got bumped so much. You get first team all defense, which is incredibly fucking disrespectful if I do say so myself. $1,500 in the past. Now you're up to $15,000. And if that's going to, listen, I think the one takeaway here is what we're valuing in terms of offense and defense here. Because first team all defense, you're getting 1,500. First team all WNBA, you're getting 10-3.
It just puts more respect on their name, man.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, you could say it incentivizes them, but like they're already like competitors.
Yeah.
And now these kind of get seen and rewarded appropriately.
They were already working hard.
Exactly.
We sat literally courtside at WNBA and we watched Skylar Diggins grab the ball from Courtney Williams.
Yeah.
Was it Courtney?
Yeah.
And she's like, give me that shit.
Like
for a
my
rebound.
ball. Like
on her way to MVP?
Yeah. She was trying to stat pad like that game. And then she got MVP.
We literally like, oh, you thought it was fun games.
Yeah.
Okay. Pop off, Sky.
I thought we were having fun.
Because she had like, I don't know if you saw one of her podcast appearances or one of her interview appearances. They're talking about how she shows up to the game is like indicative of how she's going to play. So like sometimes she like come when she got her lashes done, she's got a slick back bun and she's like ready to go. And then sometimes she comes and she looks like, with all due respect, she maybe just got up for a nap. Like things are not necessarily laid and she's just like ready to ball. And she's like, yeah, those days you got to watch out. Like I'm here to be a dog. I'm just here to compete. And I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my.
I could see
I
it.
would like to be teammates with
Mama
her.
Sky.
We would not want to be against her. I would say that really stands out to me, like on the money front. Even though, even outside of the rev share, because once again, rev share. I'm tired of talking about it. But like the fact that I saw Courtney Williams and Atisha Hadman, I saw them talk about the fact that like this is generational wealth for these women.
1,000%.
And like, and I've mentioned this. I was on CBC talking a little bit about like the fact that like. This is now the blueprint as well for a lot of other women's sports leagues that could take after it.
Yeah.
And so that's why this is so freaking important. But yeah, like on the generational wealth front, it's like, okay, so now a Courtney Williams, for example, she's a pretty good like person to like actually look to because like she's not your Nafisa Collier. She's not an Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
She's still
She's a solid depth player.
Really
a solid role, not even depth, role
like
player.
Rotational depth. Like you could throw her in a starting lineup. You know, you truly can. You could have her coming off the bench.
Yeah.
She's gonna be making that salary
Just
in
don't
and
have
around.
her in one-on-one, maybe
not. But like,
listen, we've seen what we need to see from Unrivaled.
Yes,
the stud buds were eliminated in succession in less than 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some. Listen, but like she can, you know, she would really benefit, I think, off of these incentivized like awards. And then also not to mention, and then her salary will probably be looking around somewhere around the 600,000, and that means like if she, you know, signs somewhere in that mid range, in 2 years she's a millionaire. And that's what she was saying. She's like, we're gonna be millionaires.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love this for you.
Yeah.
I'll take 10%.
Yeah, the salary cap jumped like 6.5-fold. And I think also, if I'm not mistaken, the developmental players that you mentioned, they don't count against the salary cap as well.
Yeah.
So you have a salary cap of around $7 million for your 10 players, 12 players or whatever it is. But wait.
12. And then plus two.
So you have a $7 million salary cap for 12 players, which people are going to be eating.
Yeah.
People are going to be
eating good.
So, yeah, we're happy about it.
Just invite me to the dinner, please.
Expansion draft coming for Toronto and Portland April 1st to 6th.
Yes.
Followed by the NCAA draft, the WNBA draft, I should say.
No, free agency. Sorry, I have the dates in front of me. It's expansion draft for Toronto, Portland. And then right after, immediately, free agency, which this is a good year to be an expansion team.
Yeah.
This is, bruh.
Because here's the thing too. So for the Fever, they have Boston, Clark, Gray. Yeah. Right? As their big three. I saw someone talking about it on TikTok. All three of those women could potentially be your super max player, making your 1.4, 1.5, $1.6 million, whatever it ends up being. You cannot have 3 super max players on your team. So again, like, do you let an Alicia Gray walk because you want to build for the future with Boston and Clark?
Yeah, right.
So if you're Toronto or you're Portland, like, who are they protecting?
Yeah.
Caitlin can't be super maxed until next year. She can have a chance to get the epic clause in the contract where
Kelsey
she gets
Mitchell.
super maxed earlier.
Yeah. I think I look at like a player like Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a sexy year to be an expansion team.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit watered down and diluted because there are 2 expansion teams and you're both picking from the same kind of pile.
Fair.
But there's a lot of good things to be found in this estate sale,
and
if you will.
It is because, okay, if this is a garage sale or whatever, like, I'd be like looking through everything because, like, think about it. Like, was it 80% or no, even more higher, like, of the league's veterans are not signed.
Oh, higher.
And so, I think I think there's only like two veterans that were
6
signed.
players signed.
Literally, or something like that, something crazy.
Yeah.
And so, like, you could basically run your expansion draft, keeping in mind the free agents that have expressed interest in coming to your team.
And people are talking. Please.
The streets have been talking. Let's be so for real.
Like, I know it's like technically not legal, but there's a text 1-2 here and there. There's current players talking to players that are their friends that they went to school with. It happens all the
let's
time.
all go up to the north.
It's just unavoidable.
Yeah, it is.
It's a small sorority of players that all know each other one way or the other.
Right? You think that they are not talking to each other when like all this time has passed with the CBA?
They had nothing but time.
They had literally anything but time. And then WNBA draft happens April 13th. Training camp starts April 19th. And then April 25th to May 3rd, preseason games. That's like literally just 1 week. And then May 8th, opening tip-off.
Tip-off. Yeah.
And we're off to the races.
I can't wait.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So let's pivot for a second here because something big in the world of FIFA happened. All FIFA women's teams have to have a female head coach or assistant coach on staff. That's huge.
And that's starting this summer. Like, these staffing changes have to be implemented by this summer for Women's World Cups and the Women's Champions Cups in 2026.
Wow.
So I think that there's two schools of thought.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of Eileen Gu when she was asked, did you win silver or did you lose gold?
Yeah. Which
people were really upset about. I think it's fair to ask her mentality about it. Are you disappointed or are you happy that you accomplished this? Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But I think that can apply to something like this where it's like, oh my gosh, you're just forcing women into the issue or into the subject matter. Why can't it be the person who's most qualified? Why does it have to be this? It's kind of giving like the people that would argue with DEI. Right? It's like, why does that have to be a woman? Why does that have to be a person of color? Why can't it just be the best for the job? It's like, no, it can be, but can you remove your bias and the lens with which you look at the world to allow for that to happen?
Exactly.
And so to this, I say, sometimes you just have to show up to the party that you weren't invited to, kick down the door, and prove why it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that dancing on the table, giving everyone shots, cultivating a vibe?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why wasn't she on the guest list? Okay, because let's be honest, there are so much politics in sports. So if we know for a fact, Savannah, that kids rec league has politics and there's no stakes.
Facts. This is so true.
Don't be so naive to think that as things get more competitive and there's more on the line and there's more money involved and there's more status involved and clout, that it gets less political.
As if.
To be a coach in that ecosystem, so many things have to go right for you.
Yeah.
You have to be flawless in terms of your execution. You have to have the right people behind you that are sponsoring you and advocating for you. Yep. You have to be liked by the players. You have to be liked by the admin. You have to be a favorite of the board. And then you also, theoretically, you have to be really good at your job.
Yeah. And on top of that, and you mentioned everything. It's kind of like you got to be liked by everyone.
Yeah.
Good at your job. And
have good bounces.
It's giving, can you rub your stomach and tap your head at the same time?
I can't.
I have a bun on my head.
Oh, wait, am I doing it?
No, you're not, because you're doing it on top of your head. So
okay, fired. Anyway,
for me, I'm like,
thanks for coming in.
It's so crazy political in like the FIFA landscape. And I've been saying this in the national team landscape as well. But like, I think it's needed. I think it's necessary because because it shouldn't have even had to come to this. Put it that way. There's a reason why they're putting it in.
Yeah, there has to be a pathway.
Exactly. There has to be, because otherwise, who is, at the end of the day, who are the ones that are choosing these coaches? Mm-hmm. And if there's a safeguard that's getting put into place, it's because they don't trust the decision makers for actually taking the best talent.
And also, I will say too, and I've been in this situation before, it does take a lot of self-awareness and effort to not go with what you know. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's like, I know so for example, media day, we know we work really good with Akeem and we know we work really good with Sydney.
Yep.
We need people to show up for us whose work we can trust and who we respect. I'm going to call the people that I know.
Yeah.
Who I have relationships with, who've already proven it.
Totally.
So the same thing can be said for the coaching pipelines.
Yeah.
But I will say that if you really think that this is not something that's necessary, my question would be, are you stupid or are you dumb? Mm-hmm. Because it can be transformative to have a women's coach.
Yeah.
With you day in and day out.
Yeah.
It just hits different. You asked me earlier, who would I rather play for, Gino or Dawn? Dawn.
Yeah.
Because the opportunity to have a strong female role model and the way that they just interact with you, it just hits different.
Yeah. I played for Coach Carly Clark at TMU. She did really well this year. I was so proud of them for winning the OUA Cup. And funny enough, 10 years later after my team won the OUA.
Damn.
Yeah, gold as well.
10
so
years.
I was like, yeah, it took a little bit. But like,
yikes.
Hey. But no.
It's time for a retinol.
I'm pretty sure did they win it? I swear they won it.
I think they won in between.
They won somewhere in between, like at the 5-year mark as well.
Yeah.
So shout out to Carly. But like it was because I also like had like I also had one female like head coach for high school, but briefly.
Yeah.
All my other coaches were guys, and it's just there's a level of comfort and maybe a bit of a level of innate trust.
Yeah.
Not saying that like
all women are good.
No, exactly.
No, no one people
Mulkey.
are a monolith.
Exactly. But I will say it does hit different. And I was going to like pivot a little bit with this conversation because on that note, especially like seeing, we have a lot of friends in the industry, obviously, naturally.
Obviously, because we're super popular.
We're super popular.
Continue.
But it's been really cool to see some of our friends in the coaching world win.
Yeah.
Get some wins.
Yes.
Like,
yes. When you see those names, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, okay, living your dream.
Yeah. So like Jessica Roque, she was my assistant coach at TMU, and now I believe she's the U17 team like Canada coach. Okay. Which I saw that I'm like, okay, first of all, once again, going back on like a female coach leading a women's team.
Yeah.
We love. Also like, not to mention like having played like with her and knowing her mentality and like everything, and like, she thinks a little differently.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna bring some spice to the Canadian like national team organization.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of that hire. Yeah.
So I think that what we're seeing too now is like it looks like an injection of new faces into the women's program.
Yeah.
Obviously they had been successful. They were more successful than the men's program. They captured bronze at the Olympics. Like this program has seen results.
Yeah.
But at a certain point you need to turn the page. And I feel like with this introduction of all new female coaches at the younger levels, that's a sign of the times, because Canada was just at the basketball world, whatever
Yep.
And it was not good. It didn't look like themselves. They didn't have a good performance.
FIBA, the FIBA World Qualifiers.
Yeah, the World Qualifiers.
Yeah.
At the FIBA whatever
whatever that thing is. Yeah, the FIBA World Qualifiers. They did not look good at all. They won one game.
It was disjointed. It was, And I think I was in Puerto Rico at the FIBA Women's America Cup just following COVID.
Yeah.
In the least lockdown situation I've ever been in. How are you telling me we're quarantined, but there's fans that are coming in from the streets that are watching every game? Nonetheless, it was a vibe. It's Puerto Rico. Like it's about to be a vibe. But
out here.
You could kind of see, and like a young Aaliyah Edwards was on that team as well.
Yeah.
And MJIM was on that team. And you could kind of see Shay Colley was on that team.
Yeah, love Shay.
Great people, great players.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, I think a transition at some point needs to happen, or a reinvigoration, or these younger players that we talk so much about during March Madness, like the Tobys and the Silas, and that injection of talent is going to come at a certain time. And it looks like Canada basketball is flirting with coaches also coming in at the same time.
Yes, I think that they're trying to like just change it up. I think, I just heard that some internal decision makers also kind of like
saw the writing on the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're seeing now, I think, reflected in these decisions of people who are getting opportunities that have worked a very long time to like be looked at and considered. So I'm just happy to see like people that I can say that I know and like I appreciate very much. Like, and also Canadian coaches on top of that. They're doing like here, like
homegrown.
They're doing here. They're homegrown. They're doing here. They're doing here. They're homegrown. They're from here. Like they
are doing here.
They're doing here.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I haven't had coffee yet, guys.
No, I get it.
But yeah. So it's cool to see homegrown talent, and also just Coach Jess in particular. I know I'm harping on, but like she played in the States. Yeah. Like so she brings a little bit of American like
flavor, flair, competitiveness.
Exactly.
Mine is like my old like arch nemesis that got a coaching job. Yeah. So shout out to Haley Burns, I guess. She used to torch us from beyond the arc when I was playing OCAA. She played for the Sheridan Bruins. Our team was Like, I did not lose a regular season game in 4 years when I was at school.
Damn.
We didn't lose.
Yeah.
And when we won by like 60 sometimes. Shout out Fleming. I hope you guys are doing better because your program was fighting for its life at the time. No, it was. Yikes. It was a tough go. But this team in particular came in and their coach, Shane Bosco, was like, my girls are going to shoot threes.
Yeah.
And they shot threes day in and day out and day in and day out. And then at the time, it was like, just wasn't a thing that the girls were doing.
Yeah.
You had one 3-point specialist on your team. You're like, shooter.
Yeah.
When she came out.
Of course.
And maybe she hit 3 of 7. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
you got the 2 back-to-back and you felt like the surge. And so this...
You're shooting a hot 36%.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Ice in her veins.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's iced tea. You're 1 for 10. Like, put your arm down.
But that one though.
No, but it was.
Did you see that one though?
And it was at a pivotal time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a backbreaker.
Yeah.
So Haley, actually, you know who played on that team? Alicia West. Ace West.
Yeah.
Yes.
Word.
She was on that team. So I know Alicia for a long time
No
as well.
way.
But they were a team that like came in and they were like shoving it down your throats respectfully, with consent. And guess not. Guess not.
Freaking button, bro. You broke.
Yeah, I hate to see it. And that was crazy thing to say. But anyway, shout out Haley because now she is going to be an assistant coach for Canada basketball U16 women's national team and U17 women's national team 2025 and 2026. So I just think to your point, it's like you cannot be overstated. If you're a women's athlete who has had a positive influence of a women's coach in your life, it literally just hits different. I'm so sorry. Like it's the difference between spaghetti and ice cream on a hot day.
Yeah.
Like both are fine, but one is going to hit the spot a little bit different.
100%. And on the note of giving shout outs, I always like to shout out Nalia Shama.
Yes.
Because she's actually
coaching.
She's coaching Seattle Storm.
Yeah.
As an assistant, which I'm like, okay, good. I want to see WNBA players in like front office or front bench roles, basically. And so I'm so happy to say, I know that like having conversations with her, like that was one of her goals. Like she wanted to get into that space. And it was really, you would think that it's a given. Obviously, a WNBA player would become a WNBA assistant coach or somewhere in the player.
Not always.
No, it's not.
No,
there's so much politics. Once again, the politics game. It's actually really hard to make your way into like a professional league, transitioning from coach to player. That's why I actually have a lot of respect for Monica Wright-Rogers because she did it all. She was a player, a coach, and a general manager now.
It's also not like a foregone conclusion that just because you can play hoops that you can coach.
Doesn't mean you be a good
means
coach.
You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to have patience. You have to be able to meet people where they're at.
Yes.
Gone are the days of the dictatorship. This is not NCAA D1 football where you have no choice but to either run, puke, or die.
Yeah.
There are a multitude of elements that go into being a good coach, particularly the dynamics of being a women's coach is also different. Like there's layers to that as well.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you see people who you think would be a great coach who usually like excel in their sport make the worst coaches because they have an inherent ability to execute and sometimes they lack the ability to explain how they got there.
Yes.
It's like in math, your answer is right, but show your work. You can only get 2 points.
Don't ask any questions. I use a calculator.
Yeah, like, but that's what I'm saying, right? That doesn't translate coaching to player. It's like, I said, do this. It's like, well, wait, why, how? Like, I can't compute.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to show your work. So yeah, shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Brittany Donaldson.
Yeah.
All the girls. I'm excited to see who Sandy Brondello brings into her coaching staff.
For
the tempo. So we'll be watching.
We'll be watching. We're always watching. And
threatening.
We're
a threat.
We're always watching. As our audience should always be watching us. So
yes.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell your best friend, share this with your mom, share this with your girlfriend.
Yeah. Share this with your man.
Share this with your man.
Yeah. Well,
as long as he gives us a view, it's not actually a red flag. But anyways, but yeah, please, yes. And we're back. I guess we're so back. So here we are.